Welcome back to another episode of Messy But Motivated. I am your host, Melinda. If you are new here, thanks for stopping in. Hope you stick around and keep coming back every week. But if not, it was great to have you. No, I'm just kidding. This week, you guys, I am talking. First off, I didn't know what topic to have this week. And I prayed on it. I'm like, what should I talk about? Like, I kind of told my husband, I was like, I don't know what topic. I like to do topics based on like something that I'm feeling that I need to talk about, not just something all willy-nilly. I want it to be something that I could talk on and on about. And this week I woke up and I swear out, you guys, I've never grabbed my phone so fast to start writing all my notes down. Today we're talking about how there's no secret to success. There is no secret to success, and there's not. Oh my gosh. You guys, I cannot tell you, and I know I've said this multiple times on my podcast, but I'm going to keep saying it because I feel like people think there's a secret out there, and there is no secret. It's consistency and not giving up. That's exactly, it's literally don't give up, keep going, and you will find success. And with that being said, I want to say you need to take your mindset and throw away the fact that you think you have to have a degree in that field in order to talk about it. I see so many people who think that they're not good enough to talk about something. For instance, even faith. People are, I've only been a Christian for a year. Okay, I don't care if you've been a Christian for 30 days. I don't care if it's been 3 days. You have the right to talk about it. You can say what God did for you. You can use your testimony. You don't have to have a degree in ministry to go. Yeah, it's just a tool. That's a tool. It's a tool. You do not have to be a scholar in order to talk about something. And I want to make that clear because I feel like so many people get wrapped up in I needed a degree. Some of the best advice I have ever gotten in my life are from people who don't even have degrees or they don't even have them in the subject they were talking about. For example, Mel Robbins. If you don't know Mel Robbins, she does Let Them Theory and she has a podcast. It's just very good information, okay? She's one of those people I want you to remember consistency pays off. She's been consistent her whole life. And now she finally is like, she's huge. She's huge. People love Mel Robbins. The advice that she gives is helping millions of people. She wrote a book about it. I mean, just all of this. Do you know what her degree is in? Because a lot of people don't know this. Her degree is in criminal law. I don't think I've ever heard her talk about anything to do with criminal law. Which takes me to this part. I have a degree in business. Do not ask me anything about business. Please don't ask me anything about business. Do you know who I think you should ask somebody about business? Somebody who's in a business. I own a business, but let me tell you, I can't stand it. Thinking about the clerical part of owning my business is, I can't. I don't like it. I'm the first to tell you. I do not like owning a business. I don't like it. I don't. It's a lot of work, and not only a lot of work, it's you need to know a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. You can't just say I want to own a business because there's so much that goes behind the scenes with taxes and payroll, all that. There's so much that goes with it. It's great owning one, I guess. I don't know because I really can't say that. I don't know. But don't ask me anything to do with business. And I have a bachelor's in business. Don't ask me though. You should go ask somebody who is literally like in it to win it. See, my business is a photo booth business, so I'm only usually really active around school season, for proms and homecomings and for weddings in the summer. Otherwise, this is our off season and it's great. But With that being said, do not. I would go ask somebody like my friend who has a salon. I'd go ask her about business. She'd probably have more information than me, and I have a bachelor's degree in it. But that's just reality. And people get so wrapped up in, no, I need to have a degree. Did you just hear what I said? I have a degree in business, and I beg you, do not come to me for advice when it comes to business. Do not. If you need advice with social media, content creation, if you need advice on anything like that, oh, sure, come to me. Come to me. But don't come to me for anything that my degree's in, because I'm not a fan of my business degree, and I don't know much when it comes to my business degree. I don't. I'm honest. I don't know much. Even at the time, I think I was just trying to get by. It was good to have. Another person that I love completely that has literally, the advice he is giving is literally chef's kiss. It is gold. And he has failed so many times and came out on top. And so he teaches everybody how to come out on top. He's like, listen, don't reinvent the wheel. I'm going to give you all the secret sauce. GaryVee. He's the reason that I am in, I know I've said this before, he's the reason I'm in this game, this whole social media game, is because he literally said, stop, like go turn on your camera, make a video, and I promise you, as long as you're consistent, you will make it. And that's exactly what I did. I did that in 2020, and now today I have a big platform. So I have him to thank for that. But behind the scenes, think about this. He didn't have to do that. He went ahead and turned on his camera and said, hey guys, listen, I have failed this many times. He literally was just selling wine in his dad's basement. And now he's huge. He's absolutely huge, teaching other people how to be successful. And he doesn't have a degree. There's no degree there. Not a degree. He's literally just telling people the secret to success. He's basically telling you, hey, there is no secret. It's consistency. It's get off your ass. It's do this, do that. Like, stop procrastinating. Just do it. And I love what he really, really touches on, because a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people are like, I'm in my 50s. He's like, I made it in my 40s. You might not make it in your 20s. You might not make it in your 30s. You might not make it in your 40s. Guess what? You're likely to make it in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s. Like, you have got to just keep going. There's not a date that says, hey, you're going to make it on this day. Just keep going, and one day it will all pay off. And that's what people have to understand. The problem is you give up too early. There are so many people that have come to me and said, I don't know what I did wrong, go look at my social media. Well, what you did wrong, I went and looked at your social media. You were so great. You did 3 videos a day, 4 videos a day, 5 videos a day, and then all of a sudden just fell off for a few days and then came back and did it again. No. You're telling the algorithm right there, sorry, this is not my main thing. This is just a little, I'm going to do this when I want to do it. And then you just stop for a week and then come back in a month and all these things stop. Be consistent. Me and my sister actually had to have a conversation this week or last week about consistency, because she has a problem. I don't think she'll be okay, or I think she'll be fine with me sharing this with you guys, but she's always had a problem with staying consistent with anything she does. And it's unfortunate. She knows it. She claims it. She owns it. And she's like, I don't know what it is. So we started our other podcast, which if you don't have that, it's called Sis, What's the Purpose? And I had told her when we started that, podcasts take a lot of work. They really do, you guys. A lot of people do not understand the amount of work that goes into a podcast. So in order for me to have 2 podcasts, I was like, I want you to realize there's going to be a lot of workload on your end, because this one is my baby and I'm going to keep doing this one, and I want to keep giving this my all. So I would appreciate it if you gave the other one your all Well, then I noticed I think we're on episode 6 or episode 7, and I noticed she wasn't posting it on time and like things like that. And I was like, here's one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to be consistent. We have got to be consistent. If we say our podcast is coming out at noon on Friday, you better believe that podcast is coming out at noon on Friday, if not before. Because consistency is one thing that I try to stick with. I don't care what it is. In order for me to get there, to get it posted, I'm doing it. So I told her, I said, do you realize? And she maybe didn't, she says she needed that talk, because I said, do you realize that maybe that's the only thing somebody's going to hear about faith that week is our podcast. Maybe that's the only Bible study they're ever going to get. And us not showing up is kind of like not showing up for the Lord, because we've already said, we've surrendered to the Lord and said, Lord, use us, use me. What do you need me to do? And we felt it was so heavy on us to start this podcast. Like it was just like, we were like, we have to do this. Like we have to. People were so hungry for it and they were asking for it on my social media. We ended up doing it. And I said, we cannot tell the Lord, sorry, I'm only going to do a half-assed job for you. That's not what we're doing. We already said here, use us. And now we're kind of like, backstepping because we don't want to record or we don't want to do that. No, we're not doing that. We're not playing that game. We're being consistent. If I'm going to be consistent on messy but motivated, you better believe I'm going to be consistent on sis, what's the purpose? My life, the last year, I should say, has been consistency, and it's always paid off for me. So I'm telling you, whatever you do, make sure you're consistent in it. And I know I've told you guys this a million times, but when I think about the information I have gotten from people, the people that have made me grow, I'm like, wow, what if they didn't show up? What if they just said, you know what? I don't feel like doing my podcast anymore. I don't feel like recording this stuff anymore. What if they did that? I wouldn't be who I am today. I can tell you that. I wouldn't have started social media. Oh gosh, no. There's days, you guys, I still have to go back to Gary Vee's videos and watch them on YouTube or on TikTok or wherever, because I need that motivation. I need somebody to be like, stop, get out of your own head, post this, just post it. Stop worrying about the editing. Stop worrying about the lighting. Post the content. And that is why I started posting the content, is because of him saying that and giving me that motivation. So I can't imagine him not showing up for his people when, honestly, if that changed me, if that got me to where I am today, can you imagine? Can you imagine how many people he's came through for? And he just shows up every day. He shows up every day. And that's how people become successful. They show up no matter what. They show up. And you guys know I loved Charlie Kirk. And I got some great, when it came to faith, you guys, he didn't have a degree in ministry or theology he did not. His mission was the same, almost like, hey, use me, God. Tell me what you want. And what he did was, I'm going to talk politics, but I'm also going to sprinkle in faith, because people need to hear it. People don't talk about it enough, and I don't care. I'm going to scream it from the mountaintops and whatever. People get mad at me, they get mad at me. And it gave me the courage to talk about it to my social media and on my platforms. And if Charlie did not show up and just start talking about his faith, there are so many people that would not be talking about their faith today. And I will put any amount of money on that. I will put any amount of money on that, because I know if that's just me, there's so many more. And I think like Jason Aldean even said, like, he came out about his faith because Charlie. Like, there are so many people that just came out about their faith to be like, all right, I'm tired of of hiding behind, my microphone with this. Like, I don't talk about it because it's something you don't talk about, or people are going to be like, oh, she's a Bible thumper, or ooh, she's this, she's that. When no, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think, because maybe that one person on the other side of this video is going to need what I just said, because they're going to be like Melinda was back in 2020 when GaryVee was yelling and saying, just make the video, stop caring about the lighting, just make it, post it. And I promise you, you will make it one day. And I did it. So maybe somebody on the other end right now needs to hear, guess what? All you need to do is keep spreading the word. Somebody's going to come to the Lord because of you. Because of you, because of what you said, because you weren't too nervous. You weren't ashamed. You didn't deny the Lord. You went and you stood up and you said, hey, let me tell you about my Jesus. And that's all I can pray for, is that somebody listens to this and they say, you know what? I don't know why I'm so nervous. I don't know why I think I need a degree for that. I don't know why. Obviously, you guys, there's things that you need degrees for. Come on. Nurse. I mean, there are things you need degrees for. But even with that, I want you to know you do not learn the best things until you get on that work to the workforce. And I have heard that from nurses. I have heard that from doctors. I have heard that from many, many professions. People say they have gotten to the workforce and they've learned some of their best work, where people are like, hey, I know you learned it like this in college with your degree, but hey, this is like the best way to do it. Or this is how we do it. Or, hey, I know you learned that, but hey, let me show you a trick on actually like the best way to do it. So just know, yes, I know you need a degree. I'm not oblivious to that, you guys. I'm saying you do not need a degree to preach the gospel, okay? When I decided I wanted to start preaching the gospel, guess what I did? I preached the gospel. That's it. Am I going for a degree? Yeah, I am. But I didn't say I'm not going to preach the gospel until I have my ministry degree. I didn't say that, because that's crazy. That's crazy. What if there is no tomorrow? What if there is no next year? It's going to be great that I have this under my belt and I have that, but that's just a tool. That is just a tool. So many of you are missing the mark on things in life because you are so wrapped up in the prerequisites. Is that what I said? I don't know. Yeah, you're too caught up in that. I was listening to I don't know. I can't even remember what podcast it was, but with Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore. Do you guys can you imagine that? I never thought in a million years, he's been sober for 10 years now. He used his testimony to change other people's lives. And in case you don't know who that is, he's from Jersey Shore reality TV. And let me tell you something. He went to prison, got out of prison, got sober, and he has opened up a sober living home. And he's changing people's lives as we speak. And all he did was use his testimony. He was like, I'm going to use my bad for good. And that's exactly what he did. More people need to start doing that. But people get wrapped up in I need a degree. He doesn't have a degree to open a sober living home. He doesn't. He's from Jersey Shore. Did you ever watch that show? It's an embarrassing show. But he didn't take that and say, oh, people aren't going to, take me serious because I was a drunk, I was on drugs, I was this. No. He said, God, use me. God, use me. And that's exactly what happened. And now look what's happening. God's using him. He is preaching the gospel. His house that he's got even has like Bible verses all over it. Like, he is in it to win it. And it's amazing to see. So yes, Charlie Kirk, if he wouldn't have spoken up about his faith, I don't think I would be speaking about my faith like I am today. I mean, maybe in a casual conversation, but I wouldn't be where I am today with it. I really don't. So it's just remember that what you do today can really affect somebody's tomorrow. Just by something you share, something you do. Not being like, oh, I need a degree to do the ministry. Like my sister, I love that girl to death. And for some reason in her head, she's like, oh, I don't think I can do the small groups at church. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do it? Well, you know, I don't want to spoiler alert, but she's now a leader of her small group. And I'm like, you just had to take the plunge. That's it. You just had to sign up to do it. And then you do it. You don't need a degree to be in charge of a small group, to tell, hey, everybody, hey, like, let's all meet here on Monday night and let's all, become a small community. Learning about the Bible or whatever they're going to do. I don't know what they're doing, but you don't have to do that. You can be anybody. You can be anybody. Just say, God, use me. And I promise you, he is going to use you. So yeah, I know I talk about that a lot, you guys, but I just can't preach it enough to you guys. I take it so serious, the fact that you can be successful in anything you want to be successful in. We have got knowledge at our fingertips. If you want to be, like right now, since I want to be in ministry, I am in it. When I am not doing something that involves my Bible, I am watching something that involves the Bible, so that I can, learn a little bit more. And whether it's YouTube, a podcast, like I'm just in it. And anybody can do that with anything. There is a video out there, there is a teaching out there for anybody, for any subject. If you want to be a book writer, guess what you do? You learn how to write a book. Go on social media. Put in the little search thing, book writers for beginners. You will meet people that are sharing how they did it. Here's what I did. Success is not a secret. It's not. People are putting it out there. GaryVee, hey, you want to be big on social media? Let me teach you. Put in the search bar, how to make it on social media. How to become a group leader at church. You guys, it is so easy and you're making it so hard. Stop it. Stop. You can be successful as long as you want to. It's going to take you a drive, consistency. That's what it's going to take. Right, now it's time for the not so serious things, because I know I get a little bit crazy on that because I'm so passionate about that, you guys. I am so passionate about it. I don't know what it is. I just want to shake some people when they're like, well, I don't know because I don't have money for a degree. What do you mean you don't need a degree? Who said you need a degree? There are people out there that want to be crime scene investigators, and do you know what they did? They didn't go to school for crime scene investigators. You know what they did? They started a podcast about being crime scene investigators. They have nothing under them. But guess what? Some of them are the biggest podcasts you'll ever listen to. You can find something to do without having the degree. That's it. All right. See, I got wrapped up in it again. Anyways, let's talk about messy moments. And I don't really have messy moments this week. I have to tell you about I'm the problem. I'm the problem. One of my New Year's resolutions was to get my house a little bit more organized. And if you follow me on social media, you've seen I have been doing that, and I'm pretty proud of myself. But going through all of my stuff, I have realized I am 1000% the problem. We had duplicates of things, medicines, just so much stuff, duplicates of so much stuff. And some of it was from 2022, some of it was 2023. And it was almost like I just didn't want to get up and go look to see if I bought it already or if I had it. So I just ordered a new one. It was embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. I had probably 6 bottles of Tylenol. 6 bottles of Tylenol that weren't even opened. What are you doing? Who needs that much Tylenol? And the pantry was embarrassing too. The pantry, I don't know how many tortillas I threw away, bags of tortillas. It was like every time we did taco night, I just bought a new packet of tortillas instead of getting my happy ass up and going to see if there was tortillas. Beans, we have so many cans of beans right now that I'm just like, it's like, I don't know, I got bored and bought beans. I got bored. Add beans to cart whenever I'm bored, I guess. Or maybe I'm waiting for like the end of times and I know that we're only going to have beans and rice. So I've been getting beans and rice. I don't know, but I am the problem 1,000%. I've told myself, you do not need 6 face creams. First off, stick to one. You already know which one you absolutely love, so stick to that one. You know it doesn't make you break out. You know it makes your skin look great. Stick with that. Why do we need to, every time a new skincare comes out, you go buy it? Why are we doing that? And then you don't even like it, so now it's just sitting there until the expiration date, and then you'll throw it away. So I told myself this year, you are not doing that. We're not doing that. So you know what? I went through everything. I have one face cream out. I have one primer. I went through it. Said, I'm not doing this anymore. One face wash. Once it's gone, buy a new one. I'm done with the whole keeping up with the Joneses when it comes to new products coming out. Now, I want you to know, if you ever see me with a new product, it might be because they sent me. I get a lot of PR boxes. If you watch me on social media, you know I get a lot of PR boxes. So if you ever see me with something and I'm trying it, it's likely a PR box. And other than that, though, I did donate. Actually, you didn't know. You guys know what I did. I didn't donate. I did a secret Santa, gift exchange at my house with my family, and I put my PR boxes in there. So they got some good stuff. They got L'Oreal. They got I don't know, a bunch of stuff. I don't even know some of the brands. It was just all PR boxes. They liked it. They did. They all were like, dude, those were awesome. I was like, I know. All I did was open them and, just kind of be like, oh, I don't know if I'll use that. Because they just send it to be like, hey, hopefully you'll use it. Hopefully you'll use it and, your people will see that you're using it and then they'll go buy it. Influencer type stuff. But for me, I'm more like, I'm not, my face is kind of sensitive. So if I don't, yeah. So they got those blessings and I was happy to do that. So yeah, this is the year I finally say I'm done with all that. I'm not doing it. I'm tired of having so much stuff everywhere. I'm tired of it. And then the amount of thermometers I found. I don't even have that many kids. I have 2 kids, you guys. I found 6 thermometers. What am I doing? It's like every time they got sick, I ordered a new thermometer. It's like I couldn't find the other one or something, so I'll order a new one. It's embarrassing. It really is. Ugh. On top of being embarrassing, I found out I'm a procrastinator and I work well under pressure, so I like procrastinating. If you hear anything, it's my bunny. I'm sorry, guys. But I like procrastinating. I like procrastinating. I like to be in a rush to get something done because then I feel like I do my best work. So sad, but it's true. Oh, let me give you a for instance, recording my podcast. I could easily record my podcast on Mondays and have it ready to go, and I don't have to do anything on Thursday or Friday. No, my podcast gets posted on Friday, and I record it on Thursday. I'm not kidding. That is what I do. I'm a procrastinator. It is what it is. I'm not even mad about it. It's just who I am. It's who I am, and I'm owning it. You know who else I am? I hate mornings. I hate mornings. I hate it. I do my best work in the afternoon and at night. I will get the laundry done at night. I will clean the house at night. I don't want to do it during the day. I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I can have a whole list of things to do, and I'm like, oof, I don't want to do that right now. I'll do it tonight, though. What I learned, this is one of my favorites to always talk about too. What I learned this week. You ever hear people all the time and they're like, discernment. And you're like, or maybe you don't because you aren't a Christian, or maybe you're like half in, half out, or lukewarm, or whatever they call people who are just, Christians but not Christians, or I don't know. I'm not downing anybody. I'm just saying a lot of people, I never heard the word discerning until I got in my church, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And discernment, I should say, because people would be like, discernment. And what they're meaning by that is you don't act on an impulse. You have to literally get something and decide, is that from God or is that from the world? Because there are times in life where you might think something's a good idea, but in reality, if you just had some discernment on that and got some wisdom from other people who are like-minded, or just people who know you very well and know what your morals are and all of that, you would probably change your mind thinking it's a good idea if you got, some feedback. And I want to use an example of it because I wasn't aware of all this, okay? I knew that discernment was wisdom. That's all I knew. I thought that you can pray on it and then you can figure it out. Until I brought it to my small group on Monday and I said, what does it really mean? Like, I know, obviously, pray on it, which I pray on almost everything. I mean, big things, not everything, I should say, because I know somebody that prays on everything and I'm like, ooh, I need to get better at that. But it's not just me saying, should I go back for my degree? Okay, this is Melinda having an idea, okay? I think I should go back for my degree. Should I go back to get my degree? I know I've got 2 podcasts. I know I've got this, that, and the other. Should I do that? And you kind of are like, I don't know. I think I should. Now, I should bring that to people who know me very well and are kind of like my go-to people, where they know me and they understand my end goal. They understand me. They know how I work and all the things. Is this going to be too much for me? Is this going to be something that I start and then don't finish? Is this going to, so you bring it to people who are like-minded, such as, their faith, they align with your faith. So I would bring it to my husband because obviously he's the head of our household and his opinion matters, obviously, because it would affect his life as well. I would also bring it to my sister-in-law, who I bring a lot of things to. I'm like, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? And she's very big into her faith, and she is looking at it on an aspect of what would God want for you? And so I would get her opinion, and then my pastor, because I do like asking him for opinions on things, because I feel like obviously he's our pastor and he is there to ensure that we are all being pointed to the Lord. And so he only wants what's best for me and everybody at the church. So of course he's going to give great information, great feedback on that. And then the other people I would bring it to is my small group and say, all right, what does everybody think? And it's not me meeting them. It could be in our text group and like, hey, you guys, I'm thinking about this. Sorry, I had to go stop my bunny from tearing something up. Anyways, it would be like me saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you guys think? What's your opinion? And then getting everybody's opinion on it. And then going back to the drawing board and deciding, is this from God? Is this from the world? Is this from Satan? Like, who is this from? And is this going to benefit me? Or is this going to cause more trouble? Or like, is this going to be something I need to do overall? So just remember, when people say discernment, it's not like they're trying to be mean. It's really just they want you to make sure that you're making the right decision or that you're believing the right things. Because I can easily go on social media, which people are so fast to do today, go on social media and you see something and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get rid of, I got to do this and I got to do that because the end of the world is coming, because I seen somebody say something about the rapture and it's, and then the next thing you're kind of losing it when you should have brought it to, what does everybody else think about this? And everybody else can say, hey, because my thoughts on all of that is when it's our time, it's our time. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, nobody knows the time when it's going to happen. So just everybody needs to remember that. We'll only know when it happens. And when it's our time, it's our time. So, yeah, you know what I mean? So it can be anything. Bring it to the table and bring it to the people who you trust. And I think it's important because I never used to do that. I used to really act on impulse. Oh my gosh. I want to do this, I'll just do it. And it would honestly get me and Mike in a little bit of arguments because I would be like, hey, I bought a Peloton. And he'd be like, what? Like, yeah, I bought a Peloton. Like, were you going to ask me? Like, that's kind of like a big purchase. Like, so now it's kind of like, all right, I know I need to go sit with him and be like, hey, I really want to buy a Peloton. Should I buy one? And sleep on it and then pray on it and do all the things and be like, is it something I'm actually going to use? Or am I going to get this, have a payment, and it's just going to sit there and, you know, it doesn't make sense. Like, do I have to pay for it monthly? Like an app or like what, you know, let's get all the details instead of just acting on impulse. So all things, it doesn't matter what it is, you can have discernment and have your people. If I can give you any advice, have your people you go to, because it's been a game changer for me. It has been a game changer. So highly recommend it. And now we have a testimony from Amber, and I am super excited to share this one, you guys, because it's a really good one. It really is. And it just makes you realize your childhood really wasn't that bad, because a lot of us are like, oh, we did this. And it's like, no, when you hear this story, you're like, okay, I really didn't have it bad, you know? So this story is beautiful. Let me go ahead and share it with you. She says, hi, I wanted to share something I've never really put into words before, but God's been laying it on my heart. I grew up raising my 2 little brothers. When I was just a kid myself, my parents were deep in addiction. Some nights they didn't come home at all. Other nights they did, but they wouldn't wake up. I learned very early how to listen for breathing, how to check for movement, how to make sure they were still alive before I worried about breakfast. My brothers were only 4 and 6 when I became their mom. We lived in a tiny old trailer that my aunt left us when she passed away. It wasn't much, but it was ours, and I was grateful for a roof that didn't disappear like my parents often did. At 14, I got my first job. By 16, I was working and taking care of the boys full time. I packed their lunches, made sure they bathed, helped with homework, tucked them in at night. I learned how to stretch a box of pasta into 3 meals and how to tell them everything was okay when it honestly wasn't. But Wednesdays, they were different. Every Wednesday, I would walk my brothers to church because they had a free dinner. We didn't go for religion. We went because we were hungry. But God had other plans for us. The little church became our safe place. They knew our names. They let us sit at the same table every week. They never made us feel embarrassed. They even let me sign my brothers up for Christmas gifts when I didn't know how I was going to give them anything. Slowly, that church became our family. We learned about a God who didn't disappear, a Father who didn't forget us, a Savior who stayed. And somehow, through all that brokenness, we were held. Today, I'm 26, and my brothers and I still go to that same church together. We sit in the same pews, sing the same songs, and now we pray for the parents who couldn't be what we needed back then. We've forgiven them, we've healed, and we've built a life. We're close in a way only kids who survive together can be. Sometimes I think about how easily my story could have gone another way, how different our lives might be if God hadn't met us in that church with a free Wednesday night dinner. I'm so thankful for where we are today. It's hard to even imagine where we'd be without faith carrying us when we were too young to carry ourselves. Thank you for letting me share this. I just wanted someone to know what God did for 3 little kids who only wanted to be fed and ended up being saved. Thank you so much for sharing that, Amber. I absolutely love that because our church also does Wednesday night dinners, and I've never thought of it like that. Maybe that's somebody's dinner, maybe that is the meal they really look forward to. So thank you for sharing that. And it just puts into perspective how blessed some of us are, and we think we aren't because we get so wrapped up in other things. So thank you for sharing that. If you have a testimony that you'd like to share, go ahead and send it to comeasyouare, spelled out comeasyouare at mrsmotivated.com. That's mrsmotivated.com. Or you can contact me directly. It's Melinda, MELINDA, at mrsmotivated.com. And I would love to share your testimony with everybody. And just remember, sharing your testimony is so huge, you guys. It's something as Christians we're supposed to do. You're supposed to share your testimony. God did some amazing things for you, and he wants you to share them. So if you would be so kind to send them, I would greatly appreciate it. I know a lot of you contact me on my social media, and that is okay too. I take those and share those. That's actually how I got this one. So thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming here, showing up each and every week for me. And if you liked this podcast, go ahead and share it with somebody, because I think it could really help more than just you. Don't be a gatekeeper. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Have a blessed week.